Shalom Yasharallah, giving all praise and glory to the Most High power, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He's worthy to be praised for everything. I say, hello, Lord, Yah, to the Most High. Wow, Mashiach Yahweh, Shama Mashiach Yahweh. As always, I'm going to start with Colossians 3:17. And whatsoever you do in word or deed, do all by Shama Mashiach Yahweh. Giving thanks to the Most High and the Father by Shama Mashiach Yahweh. So, we're going to look at how, a lot of times, when we come into this truth, we be pretty much alone, as far as family members and so forth. We have children, or you might have, a spouse that's not in, father, mother, family members that's not in. So we're going to look at a lot of this tonight and go through a few scriptures to, bring some edification, So we're going to start look at Matthew the 10th chapter. And we can start at verse 32. Concerning the Mashiach Yahushua. It says, whosoever, no matter who it is, therefore shall confess me before men, him will I confess also before my Father which is in heaven. Whosoever shall deny me before men, him will I also deny before my Father which is in heaven. And they're going to deny you before the angels also. And you notice I got angels of vengeance on this earth, waiting for the commandment of the Most High to bring the Most High's vengeance. That's why he said, but whosoever shall deny me before men, him will I also deny before my Father which is in heaven. This is what he says, say, think not, don't even think that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but what? A sword. So he came to send a sword, right? And the sword he came initially to bring forth, right here. Hebrews 4:12. For the Most High, through the Most High, the word of the Most High is quick and powerful, and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit, and of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart, the intents of your mind, man, the way you think. That's what this word does, you see? So that's what he brought forth when he first came as the word of the Most High, to bring us back to the Most High, through him shedding his blood for the 12 tribes of Israel. But don't get it twisted. Revelation 19, that's why he say you bring a sword. So being twofold, here it is right here. Revelation 19:11. And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse, pure righteous power. And he that sat upon it was called faithful and true. This is Mashiach Yahushua. And in righteousness and the laws, statutes, commandments of the Most High, which is righteousness, he does judge and make war. That's that sword he bring about, And if you don't believe me, you say, that's him. And when he come out to judge, verse 15, he said, and out of his mouth go up a sharp sword. So don't think I come to send peace on earth. I come not to send peace but a sword. Here, out of his mouth will come a sharp sword. And that with this sharp sword that he's bringing, he shall smite the nations. He's going to kill the nations. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron. That's the laws of the Most High. Commandments of the Most High. And he treaded the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of Almighty Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Jacob being the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel, Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Simeon, Zebulun, Ephraim, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Naphtali, Asher, and Issachar. The 12 tribes of Israel. Now we go back to Matthew 10 and 34 again. He say, think not, don't you think that I come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. That's what he's bringing. He bought the word. He is the word of the Most High. And he coming back in righteousness to judge and make war. With that sword, he's going to smite the nations to set up righteousness on this earth. Verse 35, for I am come, when he came, to set a man at variance against his father. See that? And a daughter against her mother. and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. That sounds like a lot of, going back and forth with each other, arguing or going, not getting along. Don't it? That's what it sounds like to me. But I'm coming to send a man at variance, not being together, apart from, against his father. And the daughter against her mother. And the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. I mean, they don't get along. Gonna have problems. And a man's foes, a man's enemies, foes being enemies, shall be they of his own household. See that? A man's enemies shall be they of his own household. So that's family members. The way he said, he that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. And he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. You know what he said? And he that taketh not his cross, that a cross is affliction. That means the affliction you got to go through and follow up after me is not worthy of me. If you ain't ready to go through what it is, and most of us say, we're going to look. This ain't no easy thing we got to go. Look, Isaiah 48 and 10. Isaiah 48 and 10. He said, behold, I have refined thee, but not with silver. I have chosen thee in the furnace of affliction. That's that taking up your cross. That's that furnace of affliction. For mine own sake. Hear that? It ain't for our sake, it's for the Most High's sake. He said, my own sake, even for mine own sake will I do it. But how should my name be polluted? How we gonna pollute his name? His name is in our name. Yah, Shah, Prince of the power. Come on. But how should my name be polluted? And I will not give my glory unto another. Hear that? Hearken unto me, O Jacob and Israel. My call, we call. I am he. I am the first. I am the last. So that's what we got to deal with. We got to be ready to deal with our affliction. Whatever that might be. Because we're going to go through it. You're going to have to deal with it one way or another. So, and this is very important so that we can be able to, be worthy somewhat and being able to be down with a Mashiach Yahushua in the Most High. Or you're gonna find yourself in the fight with the Most High, because this is a lot of our people. They fall into this category. Go to James 4 and 4. It's just kind of like something that, y'all bear with me, because this is something that just came up that, I'm going to deal with as I ask the Most High Spirit to lead me in prayer. James 4 and 4, it says, ye adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with the Most High? Whosoever, no matter who it is, therefore will be a friend of the world is the enemy of the Most High. So we being called and looking at being born again and changing, that's all it means. Changing from not being adulterers and adulteresses, and that's like a man going against the Most High's word. A woman going against the Most High word. You see? And actually being adulterers and adulteresses. Going with another man's woman. And women that's married going outside their marriage and messing with another man. Know you not that the friendship of the world is enmity with the Most High? You know what that means? That means you're at war with the Most High. So when you look at somebody that's of the world, I don't care if it's our family members or not, he just said you don't hate father, mother, that's going against what it is you're trying to make it to the kingdom, and they're going against what it is you're trying to do to make it. Then, hey, you going to love that? That's why he's saying what he's saying. You can't be his disciple. You can't even be brought in to call to be learned. That's why the truth is a revolving door. People let other people outside of their family, or whoever it is that really not dealing with the truth. That's why I say you first in the world, you at war. That puts you at war with the Most High. Straight up. We cannot settle for less when we got the best. Why you gonna settle for less when you got the best? This world gonna be destroyed. Point blank. And you gonna settle for the world. You gonna be at war with the Most High. I always say, Hebrews 10:31, it's a fearful thing to fall in the hands of the Most High, living power. Come on. That's why he said, hey, know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with the Most High? You at war with the Most High. That puts you at war with the Most High. So our people, no matter family members or whoever, they at war with the Most High because they all into this world. Are they honoring the holy days, the Most High's holy days? They say we're supposed to do? Or are they honoring Christmas, Thanksgiving, and 4th of July, and all the rest of them? Valentine's Day, all of that. They know about all that, right? You got an attitude because you don't follow it. That way, say you don't hate anyone that's trying to get you from not doing what you're supposed to do and following the way the Most High told you you're supposed to be. Period. It don't mean you got, it's telling you that hate is a deep word. That's what they really seriously, dealing with you in a way that you need to hate them. But you gotta love your father and your mother. We love everyone. It's the way we have to deal, but we cannot let anyone, when it comes down to thus say the Most High's word and how we are operating to be right with him, oh yeah. We gotta do the right thing. And that's just what it says. The friendship of the world make you at war with the Most High. Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is the enemy of the Most High. So if you are, separated yourself from following the ways of the world, what wants to get Romans 12. Romans the 12th chapter. Verse 1. This is what he says. See, I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies, not mercy, but the mercies of the Most High, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto the Most High, which is your reasonable service. So it says holy, and he told us what to be holy is in Romans 7 and 12. Hold that, we're going to come back there. Romans 7 and 12. This is to be holy. Wherefore the law, as the Most High wrote with his finger, is holy. And the commandment, holy, and just and good. You see? So, going back to Romans 12 and 1, it says, I beseech you, brethren. It said, by the mercies, as not getting something you deserve many times, by the Most High, by the Most High, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice. Holy means keeping the laws and the commandments of the Most High. Acceptable unto the Most High. That's what holy means, keeping the commandments and the laws of the Most High. We just read it, Romans 7 and 12. We got to make our bodies a living sacrifice. He made his body a living sacrifice. Now we got to make our bodies a living sacrifice, which is giving up something, not doing something what everybody else is doing. Like right now, we're honoring the Sabbath day. Everybody else out there doing whatever they're doing. They worked all week. Now they partying. Our family members doing whatever they're doing of the world. You see? They're not seeking the righteousness of the Most High. That's why our bodies got to be a living sacrifice, holy, keeping the commandments of the Most High, acceptable unto the Most High. That's how you acceptable to the Most High. To be holy, you got to do what he say do. His rules and regulations, his laws, statute, commandments. Simple as that. Which is your reasonable service. He said that's a reasonable service to do. And be not conformed to this world. See, our family members and our friends, associates, whoever, they conform to this world. Because what do they have to go by? They They waiting on what's coming up next. They done went through Valentine's Day and Easter. What's next? Memorial Day. And then what? 4th of July. They wait on them two days. That's it. Wait on 2 days, right? When we got new moons every month, we feasting every month, having a good time coming together. And you got Day of Simon coming up. Matter of fact, tomorrow evening, Day of Simon. You know, no matter when it is that whoever it is, however you honor and you know, calculate how you're going to do these days. We doing this, what we do as Hebrew Israelites. We got days all throughout the year. Once a month, we partying, having a good time. Not just waiting to know, y'all got to wait till then to have, no, we having a good time all the time. Once a month, every month. And then we got Day of Simon, then we have a new moon, then we have, you know, Feast of Pentecost and all this, man. And be not conformed to this world, see? But be ye transformed. How? By the renewing of your mind, the way you think. You see? Our minds got to be renewed. Got to think different. You can be born again, he said, hey, got to be born again, that means you got to change. Become a new creature. You know, a new man, a new woman, all this. Transforming your mind. Renewing your mind with what? This truth of how we're supposed to operate in the truth. I feel very, very, very happy. Very, 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 very happy to know that the Most High called me. I can't say I'm chosen, but I know that he called me. Many are called, but few are chosen. You see, I can't claim to be one of the chosen because the end is not here. You got to endure to the end, you know. But just the fact of the Most High calling you to be able to be an Israelite and know your past, present, and future, everything laid out for you right here. And most of the time, people don't know nothing about what it is that's going to happen and what's going down, what to look for. But we do, you see? And be not conformed to this world, you know? People are conformed to the world because that's all they know. They ain't trying to learn what it is that, you know, I know. And they're our family members. You know, with me, at least they can look on the internet and see what I'm doing. But if you don't have that privilege and you're trying to talk to them and try and show them this way, they talk about you in a cult. Everybody wants to say this is a cult. Well, I know one thing. If you want to call it a cult, it's the best cult that you could be in. Believe that. Because when you open up this Bible, what do they know? I see all these debates, man, it's a waste of time, really. Because the Bible talking to Israel, and you go to this talking to Israel, and you go to the nations, you go to the haters of the Most High, the enemies of the Most High, in Psalm 83rd chapter, now what? And the verdict that's going to happen to everybody that don't want to follow us, you're going to be put to death, Psalm 60 and 12. Come on. Nation of the kingdom, when I serve these shall perish, yeah, they should be utterly wasted. I mean, come on. That's why everybody's supposed to be learning what it is that we're teaching on these last days as the Hebrew Israelites. Because what y'all did on the religion ain't did nothing for nobody. Nothing for no one. No prophecies. Yeah, when the religions, we prophesy about what? That's conformed to this world. Man-made religions, traditions, and so forth. But be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Changing the way you think. That ye may prove that is that good and acceptable and perfect will of the Most High. What's good? Romans 7 and 12 again. He already said, we already defined what's holy, right? So what's good? He's telling you again. Romans 7 and 12. Wherefore the law is holy. That same law that the Most High wrote with his finger, that y'all say we not under, giving the Most High your middle finger. And the commandment holy and just and good. That's what's good. The law and the commandments of the Most High. That's why I say, and be not conformed to this world, Romans 12 and 2. But be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Renewing of your mind, the way you think. That you may prove that is that good. You may prove that is the laws and commandments of the Most High, and acceptable to the Most High, and perfect with the Most High. And that's the will of the Most High. Well, I say through the grace given unto me to every man that is among you not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think. That's why I say, hey, I know I'm called, but I can't say I'm chosen. But a lot of people like, y'all like, when I get to the kingdom, man, say, did not make that self one of the number. Or what number are you at 144,000? What gate you going through? Hmm? What number are you at 1/3? Or the remnant that we redeemed? If thou may say. I had to go through that. Renewing of my mind, yeah. I was there. But I had to change. I had to reassess and do a self-examination of myself. To realize, man, who am I? That's why I say, hey, well, I say through the grace given unto me. Come on. You given grace, man. Getting something you don't deserve to get. Straight up. He was supposed to be put to death. He was putting anybody to death. Paul was. That called on Bashama Mashiach in the name of the Lord and Savior. And he was converted. He was changed. His body became a living sacrifice. For real. He had to suffer for Bashama Mashiach in the name of the Lord and Savior. As we say, for I say through the grace given unto me, he got grace. To every man that is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think soberly. Got to be focused. First and foremost, think soberly, according as the Most High have dealt to every man the measure of faith, man. You believing in the Most High. Highly believing in the Most High. That's your faith, man. Evidence of things hoped for, the substance of things not seen. Come on, man. Oh, now let me get it right, because I think I did it backwards. Hebrews 11:1. Hebrews 11:1. Now faith is a substance. Okay, I got it wrong. I had a bad. Substance of things hoped for. The evidence of things not seen. Okay, there it is. That's faith. It's something you don't see. There's something going to happen in the future that you desire, right? So it's telling you in Romans 12:3, for I say through the grace, getting something he didn't deserve to get, given unto me, to every man that is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think. Don't be high-minded. Don't be prideful. Pride is hateful before the Most High and man. But to think soberly. Focus. Focus. And don't be no drunkard. According as the Most High have dealt to every man the measure of faith. You know, all of us have a measure of faith. So as we have many members in one body, and all members have not the same office. We don't have the same office. So we, being many, are one body in Bashama Mashiach Yahushua in the name of the Lord and Savior. And every one members one of another. We one of another, man. Well, we got to really work together and being together so that we can help each other do the right thing and make it to the kingdom. That's what this is all about. No more, no less. At least for me. You know, that your name can be written in the book of life. That's the ultimate. Or tell me something more important than that. You know anything more important than that? I don't know anything that's more important than that. You know? But we have to go through, you know, it's sad because we that are grown and have children, and those that have children, raising children, and you look at, you want the best for your children, but the Most High give us, you know, instructions. And once they're grown, and we became grown, and you're on your own, you're going to do what you're going to do. That's why I say we can't really burden ourselves with the things that, you know, at one time you were a child that became a grown-up. And once you became grown and you was on your own, you was on your own. And you was doing your own thing. And some of you still have to deal with, you know, how a parent wants you to be. And you got to be who you are. That's what my Shai said, man. You don't hate father, mother, wife, brothers, sisters, even your own life. You said, hey, you can't be his disciple, man. That's learning. Even starting to learn, that's what he's saying. You know, it's very, 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 very important. Look, all praise to the Most High. When you turn the scriptures and you thinking about something, you go right there, you know that's the Most High. All praise to the Most High. Luke 14, 26. If any man come to me and hate not his father and mother and wife and children and brethren and sisters, yeah, in his own life also, he cannot be my disciple. You know, you got to hate yourself too. If you trying to go another way outside from what your calling has been, man. That's what he said. You don't hate father, mother, wife, children, brethren, sisters, and your own life for doing things that's contrary to being acceptable with the Most High. Well, we just went through that in Romans, right? To be acceptable to the Most High, doing the will of the Most High, which is do what? Do what he say do. Keep his commandments. Keep his commandments. That's why it's so important. Do what he say do. So you can't be his disciple. I mean, you can't even sit down and learn. Disciples are someone that's learning. And once you learn, you become an apostle. And whosoever does not bear his cross, you don't want to bear that affliction. The Most High, you will be dipped in the fiery furnace of affliction. For his name's sake, he's shaping you to be a certain way. And you gonna let somebody else that don't care nothing about the truth, don't care nothing about the Most High and the Mashiach Yahushua in their own way, and you know what you know, and you know they turn away an ear away from hearing what it is that the truth is. You'll be right there with them. Matter of fact, you'll get more stripes than them. Mashiach Yahushua said. Think about it, because anyone that been called into this truth, you've been hoodwinked, Shanghai, ran them up. You've been brought into something that you would never be the same. Where you going? I mean, people just lose their mind. They'd have left the truth. Now they have all kind of madness going on. Come on, it talks about that. Why he say you can't let nobody take you off your path? Straight up. But you know, he ain't say husband, did he? Excuse me, he ain't say, because husband is dealing with B-A-A-L too. You know, understand that, women and men that's married, you know, it's still a word that deals with B-A-A-L. So we'll say the groom, or the woman's king. You know what I mean? But it didn't say that, did it? No. But it did say wife. And it's because a woman has to deal with her man. She gotta be in subjected to her man and everything. You know what I mean? So hopefully that man is in the spirit to be able to lead her in the right way. You know, but you can't allow. That's why I say, you know, why I say wife, because a lot of women, you know, just like Eve, took Adam away from what he's supposed to be dealing with and not eating of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Instead of telling her, get on out of here. You know, I'm not listening to you. I'm listening to the Most High. Well, my Mashiach Yahushua. Come on. You got to do right by the Most High. That's it. Simple as that. This is not a hard thing. 1 John 5:3 says what? But this is the love of the Most High, that we keep his commandments. And commandments are not grievous. So I'm not sad to do what's right, you know, in the eyes of the Most High. You're supposed to be sad doing that, you know. And anybody that's like that, they are against the Most High. They're against the Mashiach Yahushua. Or prove me wrong. Tell me they with the Most High, they don't want to do what he say do? Come on, make that make sense. That's why people are spiritually in darkness. They spiritual puppets, man. They got ADHD spiritually. It's sad, but it's real. And we got to look at this because, you know, the conversation is about, you know, we have children and then they go off. We done raised them the right way. They done seen the truth. You're trying to talk to them, or they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear nothing about the truth. So yeah, that's why we're talking about it. For real, because you got to be ready for it, whatever. He said, hey, you ain't ready to take your call, you ain't go through this affliction. You know, you don't hate father. What did he say? Luke 14:26. If any man come to me and hate not his father and mother and wife and children, there they are right there, and brethren, brothers and sisters, yeah, and his own life, also, he cannot be my disciple. So yeah. You know how many people have just lost their wits, man, behind wanting their family members to be knowing what they know in this truth. They say we're in a cult. You know. The only thing I can tell you, cult come from culture. That's what we do. Come back to our culture. But they don't want you to come back to your culture, because you're going to have to learn about the Most High, power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and Jacob being the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel, who was Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Simeon, Zebulun, Ephraim, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Naphtali, Asher, and Issachar, coming back to your culture as a nation. And not no organization, not no club, not no community, not no group. None of that. But we as a nation, the 12 tribes of Israel, who the Bible is talking about. They don't want that. So a lot of times, this is regurgitating what the slave masters have programmed them to say in this year that we're in right now. Same thing. Whosoever does not bear his cross, you ain't willing to take up the affliction that you got to go through to be in this, and come after me, cannot be my disciple. You can't even be sitting down learning this, he said. That's why you're looking at, hey, they ain't willing to, people ain't willing to, they want to go to church on the first day of the week and get their feel good for the week. You know, that prosperity speaking and preaching, you know. That's what they want. They don't want to hear the truth. Listen. He said, for which of you intended to build a tower, sit it not down first and count up the cost. How much it's going to cost? Whether he have sufficient to finish it. You know, do you have enough materials? Do you have enough money to get some materials to finish this tower? Lest happily, after he have laid the foundation, laid the cement, the stone foundation down, and is not able to finish it. You ain't able to finish it. And what's going to happen? And all that behold it began to mock him. Like a lot of people, they come in the truth. And like I said, revolving door. Next you know, they not there. They ain't here. Where they at? Y'all ask me, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. See behind me, that's nothing but years and years of work. TV shows and so forth. I mean, like, where they at? Every day, thousands and up to millions probably done heard it. Where they at? In and out, in and out. You get used to it, become numb to it. That's why I say he doesn't do it to the end shall be saved. I'm not impressed with nobody. Be here 10 years, 20. I'm impressed with all the brothers that's been in a long time. I don't care what doctrine they dealing with, they Israelites. You know, we might not believe in everything, but I applaud the brothers that's still hanging in there from of old. Come on. Ain't no easy task doing this and staying in this. We say, hey, if you ain't willing to pick up your cross, we just think that's affliction. We all going through something, been through something and going through something, going to have to go through things to make it. Straight up. It's no easy task. Like you say, you're gonna be refined in the furnace of affliction. Straight up. You ready for that? No. A lot of y'all run when things happen. You gotta be strong, man. Believe in the Most High. Say have faith in the Most High. And whosoever does not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple. For which of you intending to build a tower, sit it not down first and count the cost there, whether you can sufficiently have enough money and materials to finish it. Lest happily after ye have laid the foundation, it is not able to finish it, all that behold it began to mock him. Oh yeah, you tried to build it over there, but it didn't happen. So they start mocking you, making fun of you. You was in the truth. What happened when you been in the truth? What all that you was talking about, most high power, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and the Mashiach that was only came for the 12 tribes of Israel. Now he was back with me. Because most people, they run back to the church. They run back to some kind of religion and so forth. To be caught into nothingology. That's what I call it. I call it Chris insanity. Or else prove me wrong. They ain't telling the truth. They're not telling the truth. What holy days are they operating under? And all you nations outside of the 12 tribes, you're supposed to be learning from us. Straight up. Y'all supposed to be learning from us. Because the Most High didn't call you. He can give you the laws. He gave the laws to the 12 tribes of Israel, period. Psalms 147, 19 and 20. They're going to say what they're going to mock him, saying this man began to build. Yeah, we began to be in the truth and was not able to finish. You ain't endure to the end. That's what my shop said. Look. Come on. You didn't endure to the end. You got to endure to the end. Was the end of your life or the end? We see the end of this system, this wicked system, being transformed into a righteous system. Look, Matthew 24 and 13. Matthew 24 and 13. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. That's what we talk about, man. You let nobody take you off the path to make it to the kingdom. So you can go to damnation any way you want to. Don't try and take me with you. Don't try and take those that's trying to make it with you. That's why we just trying to make it. Can't allow anybody that don't even care about making it. They don't even care about making it to the kingdom. Right now, they having a great time. This Sabbath, we in the word of the Most High, what you're supposed to be in, and what they doing? They in their own world, doing their own thing, partying, and they don't work 5 days a week. Now they off now. They going to the clubs. They doing all kind of worldly things, and want you to participate in that. And since you don't, then they don't. You gonna bow down to them, or you gonna follow what the Most High tell us to do? That's what they're gonna say. Hey, here you are. You out there dealing like they dealing, compromising, right? So it says Luke 14:30, saying, "This man began to build. Yeah, you was in the truth and was not able to finish. You weren't able to endure to the end. First thing happened, then I see brothers needed an excuse to they out of here. Where you going? I seen one brother. He was like, I said, oh man, I was glad to see him. Like, he had an ankh on his head. He was like, I'm still trying to find my way. I said, you found the way. Fairly intelligent brother. That hurt, man, to see that. But many have come and gone, man. Verse 31, or what king going to make war against another king, sit not down first and consulted whether he may be able to, with 10,000 to meet him that cometh against him with 20,000. So how you going to be able to deal with these 20,000 that's against you when you only got 10,000 men? Got to take counsel. You got to consider. Or else, while the other is yet a way off, but the enemy is way off with 20,000, he sent an ambassador. An ambassador, which is an ambassador, and desire conditions of peace. Try to make a peace treaty with him. So likewise, whosoever he be of you that forsaketh not all that he hath, he cannot be my disciple. See, some people, they can act like they all into the truth, but they really caught up in this world. And they're concerned about how somebody look at them. I could care less about how anybody look at me and being in the truth and following the culture. And that's how you got to be. And eventually, it will be accepted or it won't be accepted. Oh, yeah, I mean, come on, you doing the same thing every day. You living as an Israelite every day. You don't deviate. It's going to be even Esau's. Everybody accept it. Because that's you. It's our culture. Yeah, you want to call me in a cult? Yeah, okay. It's come from my culture. That's what? As an Israelite, right here in this Bible. That's what we're looking at. That's what we have it here for. Our ancestors letting us know. Most powerful ancestors of Mashiach Yahushua, the flesh that we hearing right now. Come on. He said, so likewise, whosoever he be of you that forsaketh not all that he have, he could not be